Ever wonder what people did before smartphones and streaming? In the 70s, leisure looked wildly different. A time when going viral meant catching a cold, and the height of entertainment was tuning into a crackly radio or staring at rock. Picture a world of bell-bottoms, disco fever, and endless DIY projects that turned ordinary evenings into creative adventures. Today, we're unearthing 10 obscure hobbies that captivated a generation, forgotten pastimes that might just shock you. From knotted ropes to off-road thrills, these weren't just time killers. They were windows into a free-spirited era craving connection and whimsy. Which ones sound the most alien to your modern mind? Let me know in the comments. Is it chatting with truckers on airwaves or building tiny worlds in jars? 10. CB radio culture. Before social media, there was a chatter CB radio, a truly democratic form of communication, and a social hub that connected millions across the nation. Picture this. In the mid-1970s, over 1 million Americans installed these bulky gadgets in their cars and homes, creating a buzzing nationwide network for casual chit-chat, emergency tips, and everything in between. The CC63B0 truckers, housewives, and wide-eyed kids huddled around the dials, dishing out 10-4S breaker ring. And what's your 20? Like the original group chat on steroids. CB clubs sprang up like wildflowers, turning lonely highways into virtual parties packed with unfiltered wisdom, tall tales, and folksy gems like Keep on Truckin'. Fueled by hits like the song Convoy, it peaked during the oil crisis when gas lines had everyone itching for camaraderie. It was the 70s version of Twitter. Unpredictable, unmoderated, and endlessly entertaining, proving you didn't need likes to feel seen. 9. Macramé mania. More than just plant hangers, macramé was a full-blown crafting obsession that swept through homes like a groovy epidemic, turning everyday spaces into bohemian masterpieces. In the 1970s, this knot-based textile art exploded in popularity, with millions of enthusiasts using jute rope, yarn, and beads to whip up intricate wall hangings, fringe vests, and owl motifs that screamed peace and love. 889D37 folks gathered at craft circles or alone by lava lamplight, patiently tying square knots and spiral designs. No machines required, just steady hands and a whole lot of hippie flair. Even icons like Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis got on it, fueling the frenzy from coast to coast. Imagine your living room draped in these textured tapestries, dangling ferns from the ceiling like urban jungles. It was therapeutic escapism at its finest, a tactile rebellion against the era's chaos. If Instagram Reels had existed back then, #MacraméMonday would have trended harder than any filter. And hey, it's making a quiet comeback today for good reason. 8. Pet rock phenomenon. Yes, people paid money for rocks, and it wasn't just a prank. It was a cultural earthquake that redefined low-effort pet parenting. Launched in 1975 by ad exec Gary Dahl, the pet rocket shelves were just $4 a pop, complete with a custom cardboard box habitat, lined with straw, and a hilarious 32-page care and training manual dishing out satirical advice like feed your pet rock twice a day with love, or rock training is a matter of patience and firm discipline. 5D for over 1.5 million sold in the first holiday season alone, raking in $15 million amid Watergate woes and economic jitters. Talk about a rock solid. Escape. It tapped into the decade's craving for uncomplicated companionship, no walks or vet bills required. Celebrities paraded theirs on talk shows, and rock funerals became a thing for the dramatic. A fleeting fad? Absolutely, gone by 76. But its marketing genius lives on, reminding us that in the 70s, even a smooth Baja Cliff stone from Mexico could steal your heart, or at least your wallet, as the ultimate conversation starter. Quirky collecting and crafting. 7. Decoupage delights. Transforming everyday objects with paper cutouts and varnish. A meticulous decorative art that turned thrift store finds into glossy treasures, often paired with macramé for that ultimate 70s craft mashup. A1D2BF hobbyists scoured magazines, napkins, and comic strips for motifs, meticulously gluing them onto trays, lamps, or wooden boxes before sealing with endless layers of Mod Podge until it gleamed like heirloom porcelain. It was the era's eco-friendly upcycling hack. Cheap, accessible, and endlessly customizable, with craft fairs buzzing over demos where you'd watch a plain vase morph into a psychedelic showpiece. Grandma's dusty fruit bowl, suddenly a conversation-sparking centerpiece. Rooted in 17th century French techniques but reborn in the flower power age, decoupage offered meditative satisfaction, that moment when the final coat dried smooth. No wonder it hooked entire families. It was creativity bottled in a jar of glue, proving beauty could bloom from the mundane. 6. Bottle cap art. From beer caps to soda lids, repurposing these small metal discs into intricate sculptures and wall hangings was a true underground art form, born from blue-collar ingenuity and a dash of rebel spirit. In the 70s, collectors amassed thousands of Schlitz, Budweiser, or Coke pop-tops, hammering and bending them into bold mosaics of eagles, flowers, or abstract swirls that adorned garage walls and dive bar rec rooms. It was gritty industrial folk art at its rawest. Think a 6-foot-tall bottle cap portrait of Elvis, or, in one legendary case, a full-size motorcycle piece together from over 10,000 caps by a Michigan mechanic. No galleries needed. This was DIY democracy, turning barroom trash into badge of honor treasure. Fueled by the era's recycling ethos and rock and roll edge, it captured that working-class pride. Every dented disc told a story of late-night brews and big dreams. Pop a top today, and you might just feel the pull to start your own cap collection. 5. Shag carpet shapers. Beyond just owning shag carpet, those ankle-deep piles of harvest gold or avocado green, dedicated enthusiasts took it to the next level by shaping the fibers into elaborate patterns and designs, like living topiaries for your Floor Point 38 F671 arm with a vacuum cleaner as their brush. Shapers meticulously combed and teased long strands into swirls, geometrics, peace symbols, or even custom monograms, creating temporary rugs within rugs that wowed house guests. It was as meditative as Japanese rock gardens, but with a psychedelic twist. Hours spent in hushed focus, the hum of the Hoover your only soundtrack. Better Homes and Gardens magazines dished out tutorials, and cocktail parties often ended with dramatic carpet reveals under blacklight glow. In a decade of bold interiors, from beanbag chairs to waterbeds, shag shaping was the ultimate personalization hack. Why self-proclaim when your floor could be a canvas? Faded now, but oh, the nostalgia for that plush, patterned playground underfoot. 4. Dune buggy racing. The thrill of off-roading in custom-built vehicles. A distinctly 70s blend of adrenaline, DIY mechanics, and wide-open rebellion that turned beaches and deserts into personal proving grounds. Hobbyists gutted VW Beetles, slapping on monster tires, roll cages, and fiberglass bodies to craft lightweight dune buggies that screamed across sands at events like the grueling Baja 1000, where dust clouds and engine roars drowned out the world. It wasn't elite racing. It was every man's escape, with weekend warriors welding in garages and swapping tips at dune meets from Pismo Beach to Mojave. Safety gear? Goggles and a helmet if you were fancy. This hobby channeled post-hippie wanderlust, blending hot rod heritage with environmental edges. After all, the dunes were free real estate for thrill seekers dodging oil embargoes and suburban sameness. Heart-pounding, hands-dirty fun that whispered, the road or sand is yours. 3. Terrarium building. Creating miniature self-sustaining ecosystems in glass containers. A peaceful, green escape that brought the wilderness indoors long before plant parent became a badge of honor. In the wake of Earth Day 1970, hobbyists layered jars or fish bowls with pebbles for drainage, activated charcoal to purify, potting soil rich with moss and delicate ferns or succulents that thrive in a humid microclimate, fogging up like tiny rainforests on coffee tables at Beach 60. It was hands-on ecotherapy. Watch dew form overnight. Tweak the balance to mimic nature's cycle, and add whimsical touches like fairy figurines for that enchanted vibe. Books like the Terrarium book flew off shelves, inspiring everyone from apartment dwellers to school kids to craft these sealed worlds. Your own Jurassic bubble, minus the dinos. Serene and sustainable, it countered urban sprawl with verdant magic, proving a splash of soil and sunlight could cultivate calm in chaotic times. 2. Folk art whittling. Beyond basic wood carving, folk art whittling was about channeling whimsy into wood with simple tools, crafting intricate scenes and figures that whispered tales of simpler days. Grandpas on front porches, kids in leafy backyards. Anyone with a pocket knife and a sturdy branch could strip bark, sharpen points, and sculpt gnarled old-timers, soaring birds, or entire frontier dioramas from basswood or pine, each chip revealing a story. A631FA, no fancy chisels here. Just patience, a thumb guard for safety, lesson learned the hard way from many a bandaged finger, and hours of rhythmic whittling that evoked America's rustic soul amid the polyester parade. Pieces took weeks, a chain link by link, a ball-in cage puzzle unfolding like magic, passed down as family heirlooms or swapped at county fairs. It was slow living incarnate, a tactile antidote to the decade hustle, turning splinters into splintered histories of heartland dreams. 1. String art spectacle. Wrapping up our countdown with the hypnotic geometry of string art, a mesmerizing craft where enthusiasts hammered nails into wooden boards in precise patterns, then wove colorful threads between them to create optical illusions and psychedelic designs that popped off the wall like living mandalas. 8B62D. By the 1970s, this math meets art hobby had infiltrated American homes everywhere, with DIY kits selling like hotcakes at craft stores. Think spirograph-inspired stars, hearts, or abstract. Waves and vibrant yarns against black velvet backdrops for that extra groovy glow. It was deceptively simple. Plot your points, stretch your strings, and watch negative space transform into eye-bending magic, often under blacklight for late-night parties. Rooted in Victorian math experiments, but reborn as flower child folk art, string art hooked teens and homemakers alike, turning basements into mini galleries. Affordable, addictive, and utterly analog. Who needs pixels when a few nails and neon thread could bend reality? From the crackle of CB airwaves to the quiet whittle of pocket knives, the 70s embraced a unique brand of hands-on leisure that wove connection, creativity, and a touch of the absurd into the fabric of daily life. These hobbies weren't mere distractions. They mirror an era of economic roller coasters, social awakenings, and a fierce DIY ethos, reminding us that joy often blooms from the unlikeliest places, like a rock in a box or knots in a rope. What do they tell us about the time? In a pre-digital haze, people crave tangible magic, proving screens aren't the only spark for wonder. Which obscure gem would you revive today? A dune buggy joyride, or a decoupage glow-up? Or, spill, what's our modern quirk? Like endless emoji hunts or NFT obsessions that future folks will side-eye? Drop your wildest takes in the comments. Smash that like if these unearth you a smile. Share a nostalgia nerd. And subscribe for more groovy time capsules.